Hey, how's it going everyone? OutlawClient here, back again this week with another episode of Tekken Tag Tournament 2 online battles for my Fisticuffs Friday. As you can see, I'm up against my first set of opponents in ranked matches, Jin and Kazuya, aka the family that make the Osborns look quite civil. I mean, seriously, throwing each other off cliffs and stuff like that. Jesus, guys, chill out, please. But anyway, as you guys can see, for this match I decided to go again with True Ogre and King, much like I was doing last week. And as you've seen in the title, I didn't actually stick with the same characters. I did pick up Bob alongside a bit of Dr. Boskonovich. That's right, the old man himself. He's back. He's ready to fight. He's ready to break some bones. But no, on a serious note, I decided to play as True Ogre just because I wanted to get used to him. I mean, to be honest, I don't think I believe I picked him up on the same day that I filmed last week's Tekken footage, so I didn't really know too much of him. But again, I was just trying to get used to his controls and everything. You know, all those years of being terrorized by him in Tekken 3 as a final boss, seriously, I have to conquer my fears. But, you know, to be honest, I think Ogre was a bit stronger. Anyway, but for this episode, I wanted to talk a bit about Tekken 7 and pretty much just continue on with the discussion that I was having with it last week anyway, or the discussion I was having on Tekken 7 last week. Now, I just want to say there were no really huge updates like there were 2 weeks ago. You know, of course, the biggest update being when Tekken 7 itself was announced, but it's mostly just been small updates that have been announced by Harada, who is the director slash producer of the Tekken series, or Tekken 7. But like I was saying, really minor updates. So the first thing that he confirmed is that it is confirmed that unlockable fighters will be making a return. So again, this probably isn't too much of a surprise for Tekken fans, you know, fans of the series, but fighters, he said that you'd be able to start with at least half of the roster, or, you know, this is again early in development, so he has plans to start with half of the roster and then you'd gradually unlock some more characters. Now, it wasn't specifically stated how the characters would be unlocked, but I'm gonna take a guess and say maybe the individual, the unique mode to that game, maybe it will allow you to unlock some more characters, like scenario campaign in Tekken 6 that allowed you to unlock some characters. And I'm not 100% sure, I believe in some of the previous games there were other prerequisites, I'm not sure, did you have to play the Devil Within to unlock some other characters? You know, maybe not. I do remember in the old Tekken, Tekken 3, I believe you had to finish arcade mode 9 times to unlock True Ogre. But again, the point I'm trying to make is that it's not quite specified yet how you unlock these characters, but again, you won't have all of them from the get-go, unlike Tekken Tag 2. But like I was saying, it probably wouldn't be that big of a surprise to everyone, because in all of the previous Tekken entries, you know, barring the side, non-canonical entries such as Tag 2, all the characters have never been available from the start. So again, it's not really huge news, but it's just something to go by. Now, Tekken Cross Street Fighter, I know I was talking about that last week, and guys, do you want to hear the good news or the bad news first? Well, the good news is that the game hasn't been cancelled, so again, I'm sure, me, and I'm sure a lot of other fans at one point thought that the game was just, you know, completely canned altogether, because if you don't remember, the game was announced back in 2010 alongside Street Fighter Cross Tekken, you know, four whole years ago now. But of course, Street Fighter Cross Tekken has already been released. I believe it was released 2 years ago now, but not much was shown of Tekken Cross Street Fighter, and it was mostly just the Street Fighter gameplay that, you know, the Street Fighter engine that it was running on. So again, a lot of people just thought that it was just completely gone. I mean, absolutely no new information has been released, or no footage has been released since 2010, its announcement in 2010. So again, it's good to know that it's not completely outright cancelled. But the bad news is that it's taking a backseat to Tekken 7. So Tekken 7 will be developed first before they even start thinking about Tekken Cross Street Fighter, which is a shame really, because I was really looking forward, that was probably the most interesting thing in the Tekken series that I was looking forward to. Again, Tekken 7, you have to remember, is coming out in, well, it says that it was supposed to be released or scheduled to be released before the end of 2015. So I think it's pretty likely to say that we won't be seeing Tekken Cross Street Fighter until about 2016. which again, like I was saying, is quite disappointing because I was really looking forward to seeing it. But who knows? Maybe they're trying to get the finding some way how to integrate Street Fighter characters into the Tekken universe, because I know a lot of them are projectile based. You know, I don't know how Hadoukens would work. You know, throwing those fireballs in a game such as Tekken, because you don't really see characters with that many ranged moves unless you're like thinking of item specific weapons. And I know Elisa, she can like fire her arm or something like that, but anyway, maybe that's the reason why. Maybe they're just trying to work out how to properly integrate the characters into the game, which again isn't a bad thing. And again, like at the moment I've just been looking at the negatives. To be honest, maybe it'll be better because, you know, the graphics will be better, it'll be in a much better engine, maybe the Unreal Engine 4, much like Tekken 7, who knows. But again, one thing's for sure, I'm sure that the graphics will be looking much better than it would, say, if it got a 360 or PS3 release, which it was looking like it was really likely back in 2010 when it was announced. But again, it might be better that they delay it and, you know, just give themselves more time to fully work on it, which you know, to be honest, I just don't mind. I don't mind as long as there's no disc-lock content. I'm all good to go. But anyway, so yeah, taking a backseat to Tekken 7, which again, like I was saying, it was disappointing at first, but when you think about it more, there are some positives to come out of that. Now, another quite big update is that Harada did announce that, or I should say, he released some information regarding who could possibly be the first new Tekken 7 character. And the concept art that he released was an Arab fighter. And again, it was really early concept art. Even Harada himself stated that this isn't 100%, you know, this might not even happen. But the strange thing about it is that when he released it, I believe it was on Facebook, he announced that he wanted feedback, you know, player feedback, to see exactly what they thought of it. And to be honest, the reason why I thought he decided to do this is because I realised that in Tekken, in Tag 2, you know, this game that I'm playing right now, right this very minute, speak of the devil, but in Tag 2 there was a stage, like I believe an Arabian stage, like a Saudi Arabia stage that was supposed to be released, but it received quite a lot of negative feedback. People of the Middle East, you know, they didn't think it depicted Saudi Arabia very well. And I think was it some sort of chants in there? Yeah, they went all Ocarina of Time on us. But no, I believe there were like maybe some sort of chants or something in there that they didn't quite like. But cut a long story short, the stage ended up getting canned altogether. So again, I'm sure this is the reason why they want to make sure they get off on the right foot, and yeah, just have a character that really works well with everyone. Everyone agrees with it. But again, looking at the concept art so far, he looks sort of like an Assassin's Creed type character. I mean, I'm sure if you guys have played Assassin's Creed, characters like Altair and Ezio, they had like a, you know, like a white cape type thing. Sorry, not white cape, but I had like a white hood and everything, and he sort of has a very similar design. You know, I just thought Assassin's Creed straight away. But again, it's really early concept art, and Harada said that if it wasn't well received, then he'd probably be tweaking it, you know, making some tweaks to the character, you know, major modifications, or even scrapped altogether if he really is like really negatively received in the Middle East. So again, try not to get your hopes up too high. He might not even make an appearance into the game whatsoever. But anyway, it'll be nice. You know, he'll be a nice addition. Always seeing fighters from new places will be a great addition. Now, on the topic of fighters, I mean, what type of fighters would you guys like to see? I mean, do you think there are any countries that aren't being represented properly, or are there any types of fighting styles that you don't think are being represented either? I mean, there are so many different fighting styles. I'm sure they wouldn't find it too difficult to find like a few more fighting styles, you know, sort of like how, or maybe they could even go with an unknown type fighting style, or very little known, sort of like how Street Fighter introduced Hakan, you know, the Turkish oil wrestler, which I'm pretty sure like 90% of the people hadn't heard about. Yeah, I know I hadn't heard of that, but anyway, maybe they could go with an unknown moveset, sort of like in a similar way, maybe for a joke character, who knows. But anyway, I'd like to hear what you guys think. Just leave a comment in the comment section, of course, and yeah, it'd be really interesting to see what you guys think. But anyway, so I know I talked a bit about last week about how Harada didn't really like having loads and loads of characters in the game, you know, because it didn't really seem, you know, it seemed a bit daunting, maybe a bit daunting for newer players, which I don't necessarily agree with 100%. I mean, the fact that you have more characters there, you have more individual fighting styles. Of course, there are some clone characters, but you know, there are quite a lot of characters that have their own unique fighting styles, and I think maybe it offers more options to the players. You know, they might see one character, they don't like them, and you know, they've got loads of different selections of characters to choose from. But anyway, that's besides the point. Harada stated that he wanted to tone down the number of characters, maybe around 40 or so, for the new game, because it just doesn't seem all that newcomer friendly, according to him. But again, if I had to guess, I'd probably say that a lot of the clone type characters, well, not exact clones, but a lot of the characters that played similarly to others will probably be cut, or maybe even made into a different costume, which I'd probably be fine with. I mean, characters such as Sebastian, you know, what he is to Lily, he was very, very similar. I mean, he had a few different moves, but to be honest, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference in moves unless you're like playing as the character quite regularly. You play as both of them, and you know, you can pick up on the small changes and everything. Sort of like how Bob and Slim Bob have very small changes. You know, as much as it pains me to say, maybe Slim Bob should take a backseat as well in the next game. I mean, of course, I'd love to see him in there, but if he's you know, if he potentially takes up another character's slot, then who knows? I probably would prefer that he appears just as a costume. But again, like I was saying, there isn't really too much of a difference. I mean, regular Bob is actually superior to Slim Bob. He has a bit more power, and he can convert off of another throw. I believe it was like the flying cask throw. Of course, Slim Bob couldn't even get the opponent above his head, so he couldn't combo after that. But yeah, quite interesting. Quite something to think about. But anyway, as you guys can see, I'm really nearing the end of the match. It is the final round. You know, I was taking names here with Dr. Boskonovich. Like, seriously, this guy was putting up quite a fight. You know, especially with Steve. I mean, Jesus, Steve with all those punches and those dodges, man. Seriously, this is a guy you don't want to mess with. But as you can see, luckily I managed to get the slide off, and well, no, I missed that move. There we go, substituting Ogre, and I got the final cartwheel flip to finish the, you know, to save the day. There we go, Ogre showing Steve his place. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. That's all I have for today. If you want to shout out, I don't really mind giving you guys a shout out. All I ask is that you like, subscribe, and just leave a comment stating what you thought of the video, like any improvements that needs to be made. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? And also, the shout out of this week, I've details of the channel in the description below, so if you're interested, just give that a check. And of course, I'll see you guys later. Until next time, peace out.